challenges related to inadequate infrastructure and transportations. These challenges hinder economic growth and negatively impact the tourism industry. The key issues are traffic congestions. Severe traffic congestions in urban areas leads to lost productivity and increased travel times. Next is outdated transport facilities. Many airports are outdated and lack the capacity to handle increasing passenger numbers. This limits the potential for growth in the tourism sector. Lastly is limited transport connectivity. Poor connectivity, particularly in rural and island areas, restrict access to essential services and limits economic opportunities. This also makes these areas less attractive to tourists. The impact on tourism. The inadequate infrastructure and transportation system directly impacts the tourism industry. Poor connectivity makes it difficult for tourists to reach certain destinations, while outdated facilities and traffic congestions create negative experiences. This ultimately weakens the tourism industry's competitiveness. Addressing the infrastructure and transportation challenges is crucial for the Philippines' economic development and the growth of its tourism sectors. Investments in modernizing airports, improving road networks, and enhancing connectivity in rural and island areas are essential to overcome these limitations.
Mabuhay! I am Ria. So, to follow on the previous problem that was tackled by my classmate, this is about environmental degradation and overdevelopment caused by the travel trade. Tourist activity, or rather travel trading, has significant detrimental effects on the environment. These include issues with trash and pollution, as well as the depletion of regional natural resources. The Philippines, or even in other countries that practice travel trading, suffers from overconsumption by tourists, which frequently strains natural resources, especially in areas where resources are already limited. The amount of changes in land use with the drainage area, which are usually brought on by an increase in the industrial sewage or agricultural runoff linked to the local growth of tourism, or the occasional large scale visitations of small towns and villages near a body of water, can have a direct effects. The effects of increased travel trade activities or the developing facilities for tourism trades includes the constructions of hotels, sewage disposal facilities, roads, and parking lots. As an example, local land use is severely strained by the increased pollution, soil erosion, the loss of natural habitat, and greater pressure on endangered species. The environmental resources, the travel trading system depends on how they may progressively destroyed by these impacts. According to several studies, overuse of water is also frequently caused by tourism, like the activities on water such as motorboat use, swimming, fishing, water skiing, and shooting are especially harmful to aquatic ecosystems. The best vacations and beaches are frequently taken by outside parties who then abuse them to the point where a comprehensive tourism strategy cannot be carried out later. Such examples of these negative effects are Manila Bay and the famous tourist spot in the Philippines, which is Boracay. When carried out on a larger scale, all of these have direct negative repercussions, such as a damage to the beach, chemical changes in the water and sediments, and biological changes in the communities of plants and animals. To conclude, the overexploitation of tourism has negative environmental effects, such as the destruction of coasts due to the tourism amenities, contamination of the sea, demolition of historical structures to make way for tourist facilities, and the loss of agricultural land for the expansion of airports.
Natural disasters and climate vulnerability risks are serious challenges faced by the travel and tourism industry in the Philippines. As a country that is highly prone to typhoons, earthquakes, and rising sea levels, the Philippines often experiences damage to popular tourist destinations and infrastructure. One example is the magnitude 7.0 earthquake that struck Ilocos Sur, particularly in Vigan City. This event caused significant damage to roads, buildings, and historical landmarks. Calle Crisologo, a well-known UNESCO World Heritage Site, was among those affected. As a symbol of the country's rich history and cultural heritage, the damage to Calle Crisologo was a major loss. Restoring such heritage sites can take a long time and often require careful planning, expertise, and resources. Even then, it may be difficult to return them to their original state. Another example is Typhoon Christine, which hit several provinces on October 2024. The typhoon affected key tourist spots in Sorsogon, Masbate, Batangas, and the Dinagat Islands. According to reports, 14 tourist sites were damaged and over 500 tourists were stranded, 264 in Surigao del Norte and 179 in Batangas. These kinds of disruptions not only affect travelers but also impact local communities that rely heavily on tourism for their income. Natural disasters like this highlight the vulnerability of the country's tourism sector. While recovery is possible, it is often slow and expensive. More importantly, historical and cultural sites, once damaged, may never be fully restored to their original form. This is why it is essential to invest in disaster preparedness and resilient infrastructure to protect both the tourism industry and the country's cultural heritage.
The Philippines is a land of breathtaking beauty and vibrant culture. For years, tourism has been a vital part of its economy. But behind the scenes, the industry faces a persistent issue. Underfunded and mismanaged campaigns are holding it back.
Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco sa kanyang unang public engagement matapos sumiklab ang kontrobersya kaugnay sa paggamit ng stock footage na kinunan sa abroad para sa tourism campaign na Love the Philippines.
In 2023, the government launched the Love the Philippines campaign with high hopes. Instead, it drew criticism for using foreign stock footage. This sparked outrage and disappointment across the nation. Many saw it as a failure to showcase the Philippines' true essence. The effects were not just reputational, they were economic. Local communities and creatives were left out and let down. The Philippines is rich in talent, stories worth sharing, yet without proper support and vision, those voices remain unheard. The solution lies in investing the grassroots efforts and involving local creatives. Campaigns must be inclusive, well-funded, and grounded in genuine Filipino identity. Tourism isn't just about attracting visitors. It's about representing a nation with pride. And that begins with authenticity, collaboration, and heart.
The Philippines, a paradise of warm smiles, turquoise waters, and unforgettable adventures. Every year, millions of travelers come seeking joy, culture, and connection. But behind these postcard moments are stories not often told. In February 2024, a New Zealand tourist was brutally murdered inside a hotel in Makati. The suspect, a man she met online, and was later arrested. The case sent shockwaves through the international travel community and exposed the darker side of urban safety. Though rare, violent crimes aren't isolated. From the petty theft to elaborate scams, travelers can find themselves vulnerable, especially in the cities where tourism and risk walk side by side. Urban centers like Manila and Cebu offer wonder, but also demand vigilance. Authorities have ramped up efforts, more patrols, updated safety protocols, and alerts. But lasting change requires more. Travelers must take informed steps, and government must ensure safety is not just a slogan, but a promise. This story isn't meant to frighten, but to inform. Adventure awaits, but so should awareness. Travel is a gift. Let's protect the journey and each other. Let's all travel smart, stay aware, safe journeys.